Welcome to Reckless Paradise, everyone. I'm your host, Marissa, and I'm here with my co host, Dystro. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody had a really good weekend. Dystro, how was your weekend?
My weekend was alright.
That's good. I've had a good weekend too, besides the fact that tonight my mouth hurts right now because I have a wisdom tooth growing in as we speak. So my mouth is like very, very like tender. Like it literally just feels like my cheeks are puffed out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happens, so.
Yeah. But anyways, I hope everybody had a really good week. Everybody has a good week this week coming up. We are on the final stretch of January 2023. Um, I'd say so far this month was off to a good start for me and for the show, of course. I don't know about you, Daisha. How do you think this month goes?
I think this month has. It could be better, but it's just like, as a whole, it's like we've lasted a whole year for the pod, which is big props. And, like, we've, like, done so many different new things and, like, throughout, like, last year, going into this year and stuff. I mean, it's hard to put into words how much we have grown as individuals past
Mm-hmm.
year, and then as the channel as a whole too. So, and we do appreciate the fans sticking
Mm-hmm.
with us throughout this entire journey, because without you guys, none of this would have been like, well, we can't appreciate the support that you guys give us with this, like, content, with the content.
All right, we don't know where we'd be without you guys.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for joining tonight's episode. I hope you guys enjoy. So, let's get into it. Billy Talent's album Crisis of Faith came out January 21st, 2022. Now, they announced this album back in September of 2021 following the release of End of Me featuring Rivers Cuomo, which also came out on September 11th, 2021. What an odd time for that to happen. Um,
Yeah, really.
so they released this album a whole year ago, as of yesterday. So, in honor of its 1 year anniversary, we are deciding to do a breakdown episode. We're gonna break down this whole album from start to finish, starting with track number one all the way to track number 10. We're gonna rank each song on a scale from 1 to 10, and then rank the album as a whole at the end. We're also gonna mention how the songs made us feel when we first heard them, and maybe some actual like meanings behind the songs.
Which there's a lot of.
Oh, yeah. So, without further ado, let's get into this. So, there are 10 tracks for this album. I actually have this album as well on
hmm
CD. I have the shirt, which I'm wearing right now. Paid about $40 for it online because I got it from Canada. Um, so, all right. So we start with the opening track, track number one, "Forgiveness 1 and 2." This is the longest song on the track at about 6.5 minutes.
hmm It's, yes, it is, like, is it the longest track on the thing?
It is. It is the longest track on this album.
Okay, because it's like, I thought, okay, this is just my thinking. Like, I thought, okay, like, Forgiveness 1 and 2. I was like, it's like, I understand why they did it as one track. I thought they would have done it as two tracks.
I mean, that would have been cool too, to be honest. But I'm actually kind of glad they kept it together because I feel like if they
hmm
separated it, it kind of wouldn't have made sense to separate it. If you because it's like it sounds like good altogether. Like when the song opens, it's like really heavy, really really heavy, like
hmm
insane guitar work. Ben's vocals are insane, and the second half of the song, it's like calm. It's like jazzy. Like there's fucking saxophones in this thing.
Um, yeah. So I have, like, did you want to? what was your take? Like, what was your meaning behind it? And I have mine.
Now, the thing is, with some of these songs on the album, I did not have like a personal meaning to these. I more of which had a like personal feeling from these songs. With Forgiveness 1 and 2, man, that song got me hyped. And the thing is, I heard this song before the album even came out because this song was released in 2019 as a single. Originally, originally a lot of these songs were just supposed to be singles and not supposed to be made into an album, and this was one of them.
Mhm.
Forgiveness 1 and 2, it was actually my most listened to song on Spotify in 2021. If that tells you anything, this song was my favorite song for the longest time. I love the lyrics in this song, especially with the second half. It sounds more like spacey, like it sounds like you're coming from outer space.
Like space rock.
Yeah, like it gives me that vibe. Like it kind of gives you like the Blink 182 vibe from Neighborhoods.
Yeah. So funny you mentioned that. So I have my own, like, I have a long meaning, so bear with me.
Okay.
So this is the song is broken into two sections, of course. It says first being a badass heavy prog song, as Kowalowitz describes it, followed by a softer section that incorporates a chorus section uh, alongside the band. It says, but um, says the band leaked into those feelings more as they continued to develop the song. Kowalowitz described part two as having more a space rock feel to it, specifically comparing it to Pink Floyd. So that's why you had
Wow.
when you mentioned space and stuff that's why I said space rock, and that's what I was gonna get to.
Wow, he really mentioned Pink Floyd. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean
Wow, like my mouth's just, you should see me right now. My mouth is like, I love Pink Floyd. Like that's insane. Like now that we think about it, yeah, like it does give me a little bit of like a Pink Floyd vibe.
mhm.
That is so cool.
Yeah, because I was like, when I was writing down the meeting, I was like, okay, all right. I was like, I could see it because I was like, it. The first section, it's like very heavy, but then like the second section is just very calm and
It
mellow.
transitions really well too.
Oh
Like once
yeah,
the first half ends, like it really like it there's like that transition. It's like perfect.
yeah.
Oh
I
my
think.
god. I can see why this was like my favorite song from 2021, like on Spotify. Like I can see why. It is a great opening track for this album. It really kind of sets the tone with how this album's going to be. It's more of an experimental album, kind of like their previous album, Afraid of Heights.
Mhm.
So like I can definitely get behind this. What about you? Like, how did you feel when you heard this song?
I think it like took us as the consumer or as the viewer like through a journey. Like how am I supposed to put it? It's like, yeah, it's like yeah, like this is like our sound and stuff like that, but then it's like we're gonna try out this new calmer sound, like with like a later track that we'll get to. It's like it's good to experiment new things because then it's like you don't know what might stick.
Right.
And that's what this whole album as a whole in this song, it's like that's what stuck. And it's like I think it's good to do new things.
It
So
is,
like
and I
that's
we've
what we
mentioned
do.
this so much on the channel. Like, it's a good idea to do new things as a group or like as a solo artist. And with this song, I think they knocked it. Like they nailed it right on the freaking head with this. Like they knocked it out of the ballpark with this song. So how would you rank this song?
I'll let you go first because I'm thinking.
Well, I gave this a solid 10 out of 10 because it is a good opening track. You got to think about this. This is an opening track. An opening track is what's supposed to
Makes it
introduce,
breaks it.
yeah, it's supposed to introduce your listeners to how this album's going to sound, what you guys are all about. Just, it's like writing a paragraph. You got to write your thesis statement in the beginning.
I agree with that. I'll give it a 10 out of 10 as well.
It's a banger.
Banger.
All right, so we are on to track number 2, Reckless Paradise. Well, well, well. It's all a big circle here.
um, it was like kind of, it's very fast paced.
It is.
Um, well, compared to another song that's
We'll get
coming on.
to.
Um, I very really enjoyed this one.
I did too. Now, here's a little bit of background about this song. This song was yet another single released, in this case, in 2020, just before the pandemic hit too, which was like kind of weird timing, like because this song kind of predicted the future if you think about it. Because we ended up getting stuck in a crisis with the pandemic, and then
Mm.
inflation happened, all that stuff, and it's just weird how this song got released at that time. The timing couldn't have been any better, but
Right.
that song is the reason why we named our podcast the way we did, because this song talks about like a lot of like worldwide problems, conflict, being stuck in a crisis, quote unquote, like he says in the song. That's kind of why we named our podcast the way we did, because we do talk about stuff that happens in life, and our next episode actually is going to be a pretty serious topic.
Mm.
We talk about personal issues that both me and Dystro have been through, and we discuss, some fun stuff here and there, like this, like music. So you get the best of both worlds here. Um, but anyways, yeah, Reckless
Uh,
Paradise I heard on the radio before this album came out.
and I hadn't heard any of it because like I was a lesser than Billy Talent fan. I only knew like a few hit songs and stuff like that. But then when we did the pilgrimage for Billy Talent earlier, like last year,
Yeah, we did it in the summer.
we did in the summer. Like I can understand why Marissa was a big, huge Billy Talent fan that she is today and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's like I can understand why now.
Yep, I don't think I'm
Uh,
ever gonna get away from it either.
I have a meaning here.
Go ahead.
So it says primarily written by vocalist Ben and guitarist Ian. It says about the need for people to be more active in their communities during times of conflict. So that's what the meaning says, but it's like I think your meaning's got a little bit more of a punch to it because it was it was before the pandemic had happened, and it was just like, well,
Literally months. Like, let me see. Reckless Paradise. This came out January 24th, 2020. So this was about 2 months before everything started shutting down in March.
Mhm.
Wow. So like, I feel like that song kind of took it to me a little bit because, like I said, the pandemic hit a couple months later, and that song couldn't have been a thing at a better time.
Right.
So I gave this one a 9 out of 10 just because I hear the song all the time, like all the freaking time. If maybe they didn't play it on the radio as much, maybe I'd give it a higher rating. But it gets overplayed a lot on the radio station we listen to here. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. But I do love it.
I would give it maybe at 8.5.
Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah, because it's like I don't hear it that much, but then there's some songs on this list that I do hear kind of a little bit. So
Right. All right, track number 3. I beg to differ. This will get better. Yet another single released before this album came out. This song was released during the pandemic. This song came out April 3rd, 2020. Wow. Jeez. And this was my first Billy Talent song, believe it or not. This was the song that got me into Billy Talent. I found this song on Shome, right during the middle of the pandemic. Obviously, in 2020, times were rough. We didn't know what was going to happen for graduation because I was a senior in 2020. That was my graduating year. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if we were going to be able to see our friends again. At the time, I had a boyfriend, so I didn't know if I was going to get to see him again. We just did not know. And I feel like this song, once again, couldn't have come out at a better time. This song is all about hope. And that's pretty much the best way to put this song. It's all about hope. It spreads a positive message that even though times are tough, shit will get better. and you
Mhm.
just got to stick through it. You got to stick to your guns. You got to stick through it. And now, the reason why this song has a big impact on me, not just because this is my first Billy Talent song I heard on the radio. This song actually helped me heal through some really, really tough times. Besides the pandemic, um, especially getting through that really, really shitty relationship I was in.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, it's like fuck. Jeez. Um, but I have another meaning, but it's something along the lines like what you said.
Okay.
It says it's a motivational song addressing those close to them suffering from mental illness and letting them know everything is going to be all right.
Pretty much. It's basically what I just said. Nailed right on the freaking head with that.
Mhm.
And like this song, I guess you could say this song saved me because
From yeah, from
there were times
a
where
lot of
I was
shit.
literally at there was a time I was at literally rock bottom, like mentally. Like I lost motivation in myself. I stopped taking care of myself. I kind of just shut myself away from the world for a while. Like I literally just like I don't know, like it's hard to explain. Like I kind
You're
of like
just
pushed
like
myself away from people for a while. I kind of isolated myself with just me and music for a while and wrestling. And this song really stood out to me because it told me that, okay, enough's enough. In order to get through the pain, you got to face it head on. You got to get through everything. You can't just push your pain to the side. You got to get out there and talk to people. You got to tell people what's going on. That's the only way it's going to help. You got to open up to people. You'll feel so much better. And this song kind of motivated me to get better. And every time I had a sad moment, and even up to this day, when I have a sad moment, I'll like play this song a couple times and remind myself that it's okay. It's just another day. That's, sometimes you got to have shitty days to get to the good ones. It's just one of those shitty days
sure.
and it's going to get better. And that's the best thing about this song. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
My God, bless Billy Talent for making that song. I really fucking love it. It's just, chef's kiss.
Mwah.
Okay, we are on to track number 4. Now, this one's really, really interesting. This one's called The Wolf. Man, this one was not released as a single before the album came out, which is good. So this one was new to me and Dystro,
Mhm.
especially me. Um, man, this song was amazing. They actually got a whole ass orchestra together to play parts of this song.
Yeah, which I was kind of I was like I was kind of surprised because it's like we heard that kind of like brass section in the first track, like the very first track too. But it was like it wasn't like a whole orchestra. It was just like little bits and pieces of a band.
Yeah, like saxophones and stuff like that.
Yeah, this was like whoo. It's just like
Yeah,
holy
this
shit.
song is more of a slower song. This is actually one of my dad's favorite songs. He likes this song actually by Billy Talent. Um, because he heard it on the radio one time. He's like, "Is that your group?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's my group." He's like, "I like that song." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And that's rare because my dad's usually not into the mellow stuff.
Mhm,
Um, man, this song is actually really, really kind of dark, kind of depressing.
mhm.
But I love like how they kind of like compose the song with the orchestra. It's amazing. It's something that Billy Talent's never done before, and I think the results were outstanding. It's actually a favorite of this album from a lot of people.
Yeah. This is it's like one of my personal favorites too. Um, the meaning behind this one, it's again about terminal illness and the loss of and grief associated with it. But it says the song is a quite direct tribute to Gord Downey, the frontman of the uh, legendary Canadian band The Tragically Hip. It said, Downey passed away from I don't even want to butcher that like mental illness, and it's like I'm not going to try to, but he passed away on October 17th of 2017.
I remember when
And
that happened too.
it's raining here.
He
Christ.
passed away from glioblastoma, which is a
Glioblastoma.
really, really aggressive type of cancer that begins within the brain.
Mhm.
I remember when he died. I remember showing like literally playing a shit ton of Tragically Hip and like constantly talking about his death and stuff like that. And I'm really glad Billy Talent did a song kind of in dedication to him. I'm a Tragically
Mhm.
Hip fan. I love the Tragically Hip and their work. Um, God bless Gord Downey, man. I feel like I haven't talked about Gord Downey a long time on this channel, and I feel like we should look into some Tragically Hip stuff eventually. But we
Mhm.
got so much stuff lined up so that we're going to
Oh
put it on the
yeah.
back burner for now. But when I first heard this song, I was a little taken aback because I'm not used to hearing this kind of stuff from Billy Talent with the orchestra and stuff. Ben's
Mhm.
vocals scream like it sets the tone for this song. It's a dark song.
Mhm. It's like you can hear in Ben's voice like the pain behind it a little
Yeah,
bit.
the emotion.
Mhm.
Solid 10 out of 10 for this song.
Same.
But we agree.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
so we are at the halfway point for this album. We are at track number 5 with Reactor now. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
When I tell you, I was like jaw dropped by this song. Like I literally like the whole song I had my mouth open. I had tears in my eyes. I'm just like, this song is amazing.
And it's funny because like when we were playing Among Us last night, uh, when we ever, whenever we would go to the reactor, we already start singing that song.
Oh my god. I know the meaning behind this song too. But man, I loved it from the fucking opening. My mouth was like, I was just in
Right.
complete shock. I love it. The guitar is just amazing on that album. The lyrics is just, oh, I love it.
Um, the me that I've got, it's probably the exact same one you're thinking about. Um, by the way, it's raining here, so bear with us. This is the song came out when the George Floyd protests were happening around the
Yes.
world. And it says watching people say, "Fuck this, you can't do this to us anymore."
Yep, that's the same meaning I had too. It was in relations to the BLM movement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I never got that from the song. Like I never got that vibe. I don't know.
I never got that, but I mean, there's probably like there's some songs that we'll like have listened to in the past. Like there's like a deep, dark meaning behind it, but then there's like some songs like like I Beg to Differ and The Wolf. Like there's like kind of like a lightheartedness meaning behind it, sort of thing.
Right.
Like it's dealing with like real issues. But like reactors, like I never got that. Like I don't think like it's more of like kind of like an upbeat kind of like get
Rhythm.
off your feet, yeah, sort of song.
Yeah, that's kind of how like the tone was set for me with that song too. It was more of like, oh my god, this song makes you feel kind of better. It kind of brings you into better spirits just by
Right.
the way everything sounds, like the guitar and stuff like that. Obviously, this is a solid 10 out of 10 for me. Like I can't.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This album is really good. All right, track number 6, Judged. Now, this track was a single that was released before the album came out. I'm gonna check and see. It was released in January of 2022. It was literally weeks before the album came out. I'm not sure why they chose to do that. To be honest, I feel like they could have waited.
I think it's just to promote like hey, there's this like one last song or this one song that will make you more hype for the album.
Actually, you
That's
know
what
what?
I'm
You got a
thinking.
good point. You got a good point. I take back what I said. Now, this song is a little tricky because it's the shortest song they've ever made. It's only a minute and 34 seconds,
Hmm.
which kind of sent fans into a frenzy. They're like, okay, I love this song, but it's too short.
Yeah, that's what my thinking was
But
too.
then there's like some people, like myself, who say that, okay, the reason why the song is so short is because they got their point across from start to finish. It's a song that's really, really fast. It screams classic Billy Talent, really fast punk rock sound. And
Hmm.
it screams like their message that they're trying to get across. Basically, the freaking title speaks for itself. It's all about being judged in life. And people are tired of being judged in life. You shouldn't judge somebody for what they wear, their sexuality, their race, their interests, their music taste. Nobody should be fucking judged in this world. We are all humans. We all exist. We all live on the same fucking planet. Tolerate it.
That is like the exact meaning that I have.
Yes.
It's like it says we need to stop judging people based on their color, their skin, and or their gender.
See, I'm telling you, man. Me and the Billy Talent gang, we could be fucking friends.
Me and the Billy Talent gang.
Ben, hit me up.
Ian, hit me up, bro. We got you.
Oh my god, this song. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 only because it's really short. Like, yeah, I know it gets its point across, but it's short.
I would give it like 8.5 maybe.
Jeez, I got really fucking like angry there. What the fuck?
No, it's just I'm just like it's like it could have been like longer. Like I think they should have maybe stretched it out a little bit, but it got their point across. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I wish it would just been a little bit longer.
I don't think I've ever gotten angry before like that on an episode. Jeez.
I wasn't angry. You would have known if I was.
No. I'm talking about like what I just went on like a tangent.
Oh well.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, so we're on to track number 7, "Hanging Out with All the Wrong People." Yet another fan favorite for this album from a lot of people. They actually released a lyric video for this song, literally like I think a month or 2 ago, which was a little weird, like. But man,
we'll wait on the train, guys.
this song kind of gives me another Billy Talent classic vibe. It has a groovy rhythm. The lyrics are really good. It's just catchy. It's a really catchy song, and I like catchy songs from Billy Talent. It's like another kind of like a Fallen Leaves kind of scenario.
That's what I was thinking too.
Now, to me, I kind of do have a personal meaning for this, and I kind of relate to this song too because I have been around the wrong crowd in my lifetime. I mean, look who I dated. But kind of like it's basically all about hanging out with the wrong crowd and the consequences it can lead to. Like you can end up in jail if they're so-called known criminals. It can lead to mental health problems like I experienced. It can just lead to consequences. And basically, this song is all about what can happen if you hang out with all the wrong people and how you can bounce back from it.
Yeah. This I have like kind of similar what you said.
Okay.
It says they wanted to make a bit of a social commentary. It was fun to have this narrative of a kid growing up hanging out with some people that may have led him astray. So like hanging out with all the wrong people, getting them into like wrong and getting them in jail and all that stuff with that. But then I like that they made it kind of like a social commentary on like today's world sort of stuff. Like a lot of people can relate to it.
Right.
I like that.
That's what I like about a lot of Billy Talent's songs. It can be related in so many ways to so many people. Now, I gave this song a 9 out of 10. It's a good song. It's very catchy. It's just like I can't like if you were to like compare it to that and Reactor. In my opinion, it doesn't beat Reactor on a ranking.
Wow. I agree with that too.
You don't have to agree with me. You can always choose your own list.
It's like it's like here's the thing. It's like I'd probably like there's some songs that I would absolutely agree with you. It's like I just sometimes like I don't have that kind of like personal connection with.
Right.
But it's like I have like an emotional feeling to it, and it's like this song like I can relate to real life sometimes too. It's like like we all hang out with the wrong crowd, but it's like at least we can like find the way out of it like at the end of the day.
Back.
Yeah, so
right,
I would just give it a
9. 9, yeah. Also, you're starting to like get a little glitchy on my end because it's raining, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured so. All right, track number 8, "End of Me" featuring Rivers Cuomo from Weezer. Well, this track, as I had mentioned previously, was a single that came out in September of 2021. They were teasing this track for about maybe 9 to 10 days. They were posting teasers on TikTok, I believe Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. I saw the teasers on it on TikTok, which really excited me because as like a relatively new Billy Talent fan, I was ready for new music. And I think everybody was trying to figure out who the guest was going to be on the song. And when they announced it was Rivers Cuomo, I'm like, no way. So we're getting like Weezer and Billy Talent on the same track. Like, that is amazing. Now, this song has a lot of corny lyrics, but I really vibe with it. This was my most listened to track last year on Spotify. This was my number one track, which is crazy. I thought The Wolf was going to be my number one track. But this song I can also kind of relate to. It's kind of in relations to getting away from something that's harming you, like getting away from a toxic person, or some people relate it to alcohol or drug abuse, like getting away from cigarettes or alcohol. Um, so like I can kind of relate it to a relationship way, trying to get away, like trying to like get away from like a toxic person. Like I'm trying to think of the lyrics here as I'm talking about this. Um, you burned your bridges. So like, I fucking love that song. So what did you get for the meaning?
Um, it's not an actual meaning, but it's like little fun little snippet that I saw online.
Okay.
It says it says Billy Talent cites the first half of the '90s as one of the most influential eras of music for them, especially noting Weezer's Blue album. So they were they were saying like they were noting like Weezer's Blue. It's like it kind of gives me like how much should I put it? It's like it's a mixture of like Weezer's sound and Billy Talent's sound in that song. That's what I'm
It
getting.
kind of does, yeah. You're right. Now, this was recorded during the pandemic, so this is kind of how they put it together, in quotes of Ben Kowalowitz. So, let's see. So they already had finished the song, and he's like, but then I had this epiphany moment where I was just like, we've got to fucking get Rivers. And he actually said that word too.
Hmm.
We're not the kind of band that collaborates very much, but luckily their manager knew us, and he was like, sure, I'll send it to Rivers. Like, they sent Rivers their song. And then we just didn't hear anything for 6 weeks, but we checked our inbox one day, and he had fucking sung on it. That was a pretty cool day for us. End quote from Ben Kowalowitz. Wow. So they literally sent it to Rivers, didn't get a response for 6 weeks, and all of a sudden, he fucking sang on the record, and bada bing bada boom, we got fucking Rivers Cuomo on this album. Like, that's fucking cool. Now, I actually have a real meaning. I found the real meaning of the song. It's saying this song is written from the perspective of someone trying to help an old friend who'd wandered down a bad path, implied to be one of substance abuse and addiction. Everybody has left them as their behavior has become incredibly destructive to those around them, but the narrator chooses to stick around to attempt to aid their old friend in recovery. Wow, okay.
That's actually pretty wholesome right there.
Yeah, it is kind of wholesome. Oh man, I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Okay, you know what? I can respect that. I can respect that.
I was just expecting you to be like, "What the fuck?"
What the fuck? That shit. No, that's pretty respectable too. All right, we have two tracks left. So number 9 is One Less Problem. This one I don't listen to much anymore. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like this should be the weaker track of this album.
Hmm.
Like it has a very like upbeat sound to it, but the meaning is just like dark.
Yeah. I have my own meaning, but you can go ahead and do yours if you like.
Okay, so before I do that, like okay, so you know that meme where it's like the Barbie dream house on the left and like a really like haunted house on the right.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember me tagging you in that last year when this album
Yep.
came out?
Mhm.
This is
Mhm.
literally that song.
That
The
song.
song screams this meme. It sounds like really like happy and cheery, but when you like look at the lyrics, it's just like
Holy shit.
I really like the way Billy Talent did that, though. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but I like that. So I'll give props to them for that. Now, with one less problem, it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of about like the world kind of collapsing around you. And like one of the lyrics is like, "I'm all alone and I can't turn back," and it's like, I feel you, bro. Well, 2020 version of me feels you. It just feels like your world's like crashing down, even if it's like a really happy like beat.
Right? It's like stuff is just like falling behind them. They're just playing along with the happiest smiles on their faces.
And the fucking opening's like, "Oh, yeah, oh, yeah." It's just like, oh my god.
Well, my meaning is kind of similar to yours. It says everyone is fucking hanging by a thread and trying their best to get through the days and be positive.
Oh boy. It's one of those songs. It's one of those like high school songs.
It's like that sounds okay. This song like would be on like a high school movie like soundtrack.
Like
It
it's like
would
the
be.
middle of the school year. It's like that point of the school year where you're like sick of the work, like you're kind of running out of motivation, you're kind of running out of fuel.
Yeah.
It's like that. Um,
Yeah.
God damn it, I'm about to listen to that song later. I haven't heard it in a while. I really haven't, so I'm due to listen to it. I'm gonna give this one an 8.5 because, like I said, I don't listen to it a lot. It's kind of the weaker track of this album, but I do like it. It's just not something I can listen to all the time.
I would give it an 8.
Okay, that's respectable. All right, so we're on to the closing track known as For You. This one's a really, really bittersweet love song.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I'm not a thing for relationships right now, I still like a good love song once in a while. And if you get a love song from Billy Talent, that's like a fucking Christmas present. um, because the thing is, Billy Talent, they have a lot of breakup songs, like especially with Billy Talent 1 and 2. Like you get those two albums together, like you got a shit ton of breakup songs. Um, and then you have like Afraid of Heights that kind of mainly focused on worldwide problems, which was also kind of cool. But this song, it really ties the album together. It's a really bittersweet closing track. I think it fits it perfectly. It's probably one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best closing tracks on an album of all time. I just all around the song is really good. Brings me a
Mm-hmm.
lot of hope. It helps me heal with a lot of stuff. Like it kind of helps me self motivate myself. It's just one of those songs that makes you feel really, really good. Like it's a song you should listen to when you're like driving in a sunset.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, just driving in the sunset, just don't give a fuck about anything. It's
Now,
just
one
like,
thing I do know about this song is Ben wrote it for his daughter, who he actually became a father during the pandemic. So congratulations to him. He must be a good fucking dad. Like that kid is fucking lucky, bro. Like what the fuck? But he wrote this about his daughter and to his daughter, his little girl, and I can actually see like how this would be a good song for like a child, like from a father to a daughter, from like a mother to their child. Like I can see it. But what about you? What do you have written down?
I basically just wrote down like it's a love song, but it's a little bit more than that. But after that, like I had put it up on my tablet, but then like I was just like, you know what? It's like I'm just gonna leave it as a love song because like it's basically like kind of like a love letter to like parents to their kids, like like they would do anything for you and vice versa, sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Now I have a Ben Kowalowitz little quote here. This is about For You. So starting quotes here. This was the last song that we wrote. Ian and I had been working on the lyrics for a while, but we felt like we got sandbagged and boxed ourselves in. So we just scrapped everything that we were working on because we weren't hitting the nail on the head directly. I fucking used that fucking saying all night, and now I get this. Jeez. But because the song itself is just beautiful, it came to be about true love, me coming at it from being a new father and Ian coming at it from losing his mother and realizing that love is still there. No matter if it's a new life or if it's the end of a chapter, that love is still the same. It ended up being this really beautiful song, and I think it's probably my favorite song on the record. End quote. Wow. Ben really likes this song. I do too.
I
That's
mean, it
really
has a
like
good meaning.
bittersweet. Oh my god, my fucking heart! I can feel it growing 10 times its size.
Or a Grinch.
Okay, shut up. I'm not a Grinch.
You all mean
Oh, shut up. God damn it, Dystro. This is supposed to be bittersweet, not fucking bullying me.
I'm not bullying you. I'm just.
Okay,
All right. Oompa loompa.
shut. Okay.
Completely off track.
But yeah, so I remember them actually talking about in an interview how Ian's mother had passed away. I remember that. Um, and then like I mentioned previously, Ben becoming a new father during the pandemic, which this is his first kid. Like he's a brand new dad. Like he's got to learn a lot of shit. Do you know how hard that is?
Oh, I mean, shit. My friend, before he had passed, like he was dealing with like a kid of his own, and he knew he had to
Right.
do like a whole bunch of fucking responsibilities. Feed it, change it,
Right.
everything.
So I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. It is a very, very solid closing track. And I really don't think any other track on this album could have been a better closing track.
Mm.
So, what about you? What are you giving it?
I would give it a 10 out of 10 as well.
It's really beautiful. Um, excuse me, I got fucking like hiccups coming on. All right, so that is Crisis of Faith. Now we must rank it as a whole album. So, Daisho, what are you gonna give this album?
Hmm. Well, since we had the opening track, that was a 10 out of 10, and then we closed it out. It's like there's a good opening track and a good solid closing track. Everything in between it played its part. Let's just say it's like kind of like a roller coaster. So it's just like a high and then a little bit of a high and stuff like that. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow, we're like really close. Holy shit. I don't think we've ever been this close on an episode of the breakdown yet. And I think this is our fourth episode. I give it a
Yes.
9.4.
Oh wow, that's very
Very
close.
close. Holy shit. And just for the record, y'all, we never saw each other's rankings, meanings, etc. This is all like firsthand, like
Mm-hmm.
you're witnessing this live.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I gave it a 9.4 just because only track number 9, One Less Problem, was the only weak track on this album. The rest were fucking solid. Solid 9 to 10 out of 10. And I don't think I could have asked for a better album. I think this is actually the highest ranked album we've had so far on the breakdown. I think the next one
Mm-hmm.
below that is The Razor's Edge. Wow. This album was exactly what I wanted it to be and more. I really looked forward to this album so much that I pre-ordered the album. I had it set on pre-order on Amazon, so I made sure I was going to get my copy. And I even ordered a shirt like a month later because I was absolutely dedicated to this album. It is probably one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time from any group. Like if I were to like take a whole bunch of groups, take their albums and put them on a scale from like top 10 or whatever, this would be on my top 5 for sure without a doubt. This album means a lot to me. It's helped me in so many ways. It's helped me heal. It's helped me get back on my feet again, just with a lot of these songs. And I'm really happy with the way that they tried out new things with this album, like with The Wolf and Forgiveness. And even for you, like that was kind of out of the ballpark too. Like we weren't expecting a love song on this album. So, in a way, I'm really glad that we took the time to break down this album. This will probably go down as probably one of my favorite episodes we've ever done on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it, guys. That is the breakdown, Crisis of Faith. What is your favorite track from this album if you guys took a listen? Be sure to let us know on social media or in the comments. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. And if you guys haven't taken a listen to this album yet, you definitely need to. It is worth the listen. Um, but yeah, I can't wait to do the next breakdown episode, which I don't think that's till like next month. I've got one set for next month, so. Okay, so I got a couple things I need to talk about before we conclude the episode. I was supposed to give you guys an update about our buddy Dean with his album. Unfortunately, he had some issues releasing the album on the 20th, so it is getting pushed back again a little bit. However, the music video for Beautiful Blonde is up now on his YouTube channel. I will put a link in the description below, right below our link tree, so you guys can go check that out. Awesome music video, really good camera quality, camera work. It's just overall absolutely amazing. And just remember, this guy is like, what, 19, 20? Like, he's around my age, and he's doing this. Like, that is fucking amazing. So go check out his music video for Beautiful Blonde. It'll be in the description below. And I will let you guys know when that album comes out. I'm going to put a link as well when it comes out. And I'll let you guys know at the end of the episode when it does come out. He also would like us to do an album review for that album. So you guys will see that on the channel. I'm going to say around springtime, I'm hoping. It really all depends on when the album gets officially released. So stay tuned for that. Song of the night. Okay, so I've got Song of the night. I'm going to go with I think I'm going to go with Reactor for this one because I had used Reckless Paradise for our 1-year anniversary. So I'm going to go with track number 5 from Crisis of Faith, Reactor, because I love Reactor. And if I had to pick a favorite song from this album, that would be it. That is probably my favorite song from this album. So you guys should probably go take a listen to that. So if you guys are interested in hearing Billy Talent's Reactor from Crisis of Faith, be sure to click on the top right-hand corner of this episode. The link should pop up towards the end with the song. So yeah, be sure to go check it out. And we have our next episode set for Thursday. This is going to be a really good one. I'm going to do a lot of research for this one because I don't know a whole lot about this topic, but Dystro does. This is going to be more of like a highlight moment for Dystro here. We are doing Let's Talk MS. Now, MS stands for multiple sclerosis, and our buddy here, Dystro, knows a hell of a lot about that.
Yeah, because I live, breathe, and sleep with it. So
And walk with it. You walk with it, you sleep with it, you talk about it. Yeah. And I feel like it's a good thing to raise awareness about this topic because, you know, on the show we talk about some serious topics like this. So yeah, let's do this for Thursday. Raise awareness for this. Wait, what is it even called? Is it like a disorder or a disease? Like,
it's a kind of like non-curable disease.
okay. So we're gonna raise awareness for this.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you can do stuff to treat it, but it's not.
You can never cure it.
Yeah, you can never cure it. You're like stuck with it for the rest of your life.
And speaking, since we're like on the topic of this, like Billy Talent's drummer, Aaron, he has MS. Unfortunately, as of right now, he can't play drums full time because he had a really bad relapse of MS in 2016. But so we're gonna have to talk about him too in that episode, even though we kind of briefly mentioned it before when we did our drummers episode, I think, or part 1. So, but yeah, so if you guys are interested in learning about multiple sclerosis, also known as MS, be sure to tune in this Thursday. It's gonna be a really good episode. I'm really happy that, you know, I kind of had the idea to do this. It's kind of a surprise for you. I told myself, okay, I need to make an episode targeted towards Dystro because like I feel like I'm always like hogging the spotlight. I'm like, okay, I need to put Dystro on the pedestal and get him some, you know, some attention here. I don't know how to put it. I'm tired, but
I appreciate it.
But yeah, I mean, like, I want to like get you to do more solo episodes too, though. So like, you have episodes for yourself, kind of like how I did mine with the American Idol episode. Like, we'll figure it out. But
yeah.
Anyways, if you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. Be sure to go follow us on social media by clicking on the link in the description below, which will take you to the link tree. It has Dystro's gaming YouTube channel, which he's on a mission to hit 300 subscribers. How many were you at?
I'm at right now 263.
Wow. Excuse me, that's pretty good. Be sure to go subscribe to content weekly, and I'm even in some of those because we play
Mm-hmm.
video games. When we're not doing the podcast, we're playing video games. So be sure to go check it out. I think you guys enjoy his stuff. A lot of the stuff's pretty funny. Also, be sure to go follow us on social media such as Reddit, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter for updates on the podcast in case something goes wrong and we can't upload. Be sure to listen to tonight's Song of the Night, Reactor by Billy Talent. Also, be sure to go check out Dean's music video for Beautiful Blonde. And thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you guys this Thursday. Peace.
Peace.